A countdown continues at the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Each hour, day, week that ticks by intensifies a need for answers.
So it's frustrating for us. We don't like having to wait, but we'd rather wait and be thorough in our investigation.
Chief Deputy John Budenseek is waiting on the necropsy results for 2 dogs he says are the latest to die in the care of Nikki Camerlengo, the owner of what once was a dog training, boarding, and grooming facility called Pawsitively Paradise in Palm City. But to give you the full picture, let's take you back to the beginning of this investigation. In November of 2022, a Palm City couple filed this police report with the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Dan and Adele Santos told me they boarded their 2 retrievers, Mako and Marlin, at Pawsitively Paradise for a week, after which they say Mako died while Marlin was treated for a bacterial infection and severe dehydration.
I can't tell you how much I loved that dog and how responsible I feel.
Mako's necropsy came back inconclusive. The report says the dog choked on its own vomit, but didn't find a reason why. So the sheriff's office couldn't pursue charges. Code enforcement did cite Camerlengo 8 times, 7 of which were for improper care of animals.
They did issue some citations for other animals that were kept in crates that didn't have water there.
More than a year later, another family filed a police report saying their 3-year-old golden doodle Flurry died at Pawsitively Paradise. The dog's owner, Turner Benoit, told me the vet that examined Flurry said she couldn't find any direct cause of death, so the dog's body was sent off for necropsy, which we're still waiting on.
There's nothing wrong with her. She was running around like crazy. I don't know what happened.
3 weeks later, another family filed a police report saying their 2-year-old Labradoodle died after spending 4 hours at Pawsitively Paradise. By the time deputies retrieved the body for a necropsy, it was already decomposing in Camerlengo's car in the heat, making the necropsy that much harder to perform.
It was almost like there was some intent there, keeping these dogs in the heat for an extended period of time post-mortem. So that really has hampered our investigation.
Deputies told me Camerlengo has refused to talk to them. In March, she agreed to speak to me on camera and denied all allegations against her. She said the dogs that died had pre-existing conditions, even though the necropsy and vet records we do have show otherwise.
And I'm sorry that there's been some issues, but that comes with every single job anywhere you go. It just so happens that my job is with dogs. If it was a person with a daycare, it'd be the same thing with a kid.
I then found other families who shared similar stories dating back to 2014, 10 years ago. That's when Tiffany and Mike Owen say their puppy Gibbs died after a week of training at Pawsitively Paradise.
We were just in shock. We left her with a healthy dog, a puppy.
Alexis Kaslik says her dog Oakley came back from Pawsitively Paradise training with a collapsed trachea in 2018. She says Oakley survived, but still isn't back to normal.
She can't wear a collar anymore. She can only wear harnesses.
Shalimar Gregory told me her 4-month-old Rottweiler Red died after a week at Pawsitively Paradise in 2019. She says Camerlengo told her the dog died of parvo, but we took Red's death records to a vet who told me the dog's symptoms weren't consistent with parvo, and Shalimar said her veterinarian had an entirely different diagnosis.
She had a bruised trachea, and they think that her spinal cord was severed.
They're standing in front of my gate with a camera recording me right now.
Camerlengo hasn't answered my calls to address the latest allegations, but her brother John did address them in April.
That's how many? 2014, 2018, 2018, 2022, 2023, 2024. That's 6 dogs. How do you explain that?
I think it's funny that when this dog died, all the people came out the woodwork saying, "Oh, I had a dog die."
Well, there's nothing funny about this.
The sheriff's office issuing a stark warning to the community via Facebook.
Even though we don't have criminal charges, there's a very bright red flag here.
Did you happen to know the owner who lived here before?
I went back out to Pawsitively Paradise in May. A new tenant told me the business is no longer operating there. But we found Camerlengo's website is still up and running. Her voicemail still advertises as Nikki the dog trainer. And according to Florida's Division of Corporations, the business is still active.
We think she probably is operating somewhere. She's not at that establishment, but she could be in St. Lucie County. She could be meeting people at their houses. We just don't know.
I reached out to code enforcement to see if they could shut the business down, considering Camerlengo already received 8 citations. Code enforcement told me a 2021 law stripped them of their power to regulate a home-based business no matter how many citations it receives. So I took the issue to Representative John Snyder, who agreed to look into that law. And what we also discovered is a lack of oversight in the dog training industry.
We found really there's no federal or state requirement to become a dog trainer. I have absolutely no certification or training, but I could open up a business tomorrow so long as I pay for a business license and say, hey, I'm a dog trainer, bring your dogs to me, and the community may be none the wiser. Should there maybe be more regulation or oversight in this industry?
I think that is something, certainly here on the Treasure Coast, that I look forward to working with local leaders on and really putting some type of licensure potentially in place.
We know something's wrong. We know of 3 deaths of animals that were there, and we've heard of other deaths. I know you all have uncovered some other deaths. Unfortunately, we're not able to get necropsies in all those cases, but that's not normal. And again, we're warning our public, do your homework before you take your pet for kenneling or for grooming at any of these facilities.